Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon, and today I'm bringing you how to set up, play and review for the game Rolling Realms. Now I actually have played the print and play version of this. I played this before it actually became a full manufactured and published game, but Jamie Stigma, I thought, well, if anyone's interested, I will make it into a full game. This is the first printing, 9,937 out of 22,000 by Stone Games with the Ultima Factory if you want to play it solo. I have just played a physical copy of this game, like I said, a published copy, not the version that is the print and play version. I hadn't done a video yet for the print and play one, and the reason why, I was a little uncertain on the rules, but it happened to be exactly the same as it was on here, and I'll show you about some of the cards and how it works. So this is in the Roll and Write family of games. I have various videos out there for Roll and Writes, so please do check out the playlist for that. And separately, please, of course, hit the like button, share and subscribe, and via the notification bell, of course, be notified when new games come along. These are some extra cards you might want, but you don't need to use them, of course, if you're not playing with them. The baggie is in there, but these are these huge dice, too big for dice distancing videos. If you want to see how far dice roll, then what you want to do is go ahead and check out that playlist for that as well. And via the description, you can support the channel via Patreon and also via supporting and following over 2,200 photographs on Instagram. Now, I do have a completed game to show you in a moment, but for now, let's just open up these cards and show you what's here. So there are various different cards here. They all have different abilities and they all show various games. Now, in the print and play, I don't recall seeing the Society and I think one other. There are normally 9 cards because you're playing 9 different realms over 3 rounds. Each round you're going to be shuffling up these cards. I'll quickly talk about these various cards. So we have a game called Tapestry. I look forward to playing this on Board Game Arena, I think this week. My Little Scythe, big fan of that. You can find the video on the channel. I love playing that, especially there's a solo playthrough I think that I've made as well. And maybe even a 2-player playthrough. Between Two Castles, again, another game I've played. Pendulum I haven't played, that's the newest one there. I own Charterstone, but haven't played it yet, unfortunately. This is actually also known as Red Rising, which I was due to play, but I ended up demonstrating professionally a different game. Viticulture does mention the obviously the Tuscany or the Essential Edition. I've played all of them. My favourite version is only ever played, and that is with the Visitors for the Rhine Valley expansion. I only ever play it with that. I think it's the best expansion pretty much for any game. Wingspan again, I've again played the European expansion, and I've got a signed copy that I've played as well. And then we've also got Euphoria, which I've played, and I had a 6-player game of this. It went over to 190 minutes. Then Between Two Cities again, we have Scythe. Again, I've played all player counts, 4 different kinds of expansions, and loads more. So, like I said, you're going to have various cards out. You're going to shuffle them up, and you are going to pick your first 3 realms. So, you're going to shuffle up these cards, pick 3, 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to be doing is you're going to be filling in various different things. So what I'll be doing is showing you some cards. I didn't happen to use 2 of those other cards before. You are going to have cards like this, and then someone's going to roll some dice. So let's do it like that. And you're going to place one of those values in one of your cards and one in the other card or realm. You can write the numbers in to show you in round 1. And then you are going to say, right, well, let's say right now I want to put a 2 in here. So if I want to put in 2 into here, I just cross that off. I happen to gain a coin. Everybody is going to have a card as well, which actually shows you something that you can use to mark various resources that you can have in the game. So in this case, you're going to be giving yourself a coin. And then over here, you have a 4. So in this instance, let's just go for this. It gains me a pumpkin. Now in this instance, what you want to be doing in Wingspan, you're trying to fill a square, and ideally, whenever you fill them up, you're going to go from left to right, so the next value is going to go in here, the next one in there, etc. If you happen to get exactly 7, you're going to get yourself a star, but also we happen to roll again, as I'll show in a second. You might get a 1, you're going to get a coin, etc. These various different resources can give you different things. Let's just do another roll. So we happen to get a 6 and a 4. So this time round, well, I won't put a 4 in here. I could put something over here if I want to. But let's just go with a 6. The reason being is you want to have a lower value at the bottom. Think of it like weight. You don't want a top heavy thing. So I might put a 6 in here. So 6 gives me a pumpkin. And then I have a 1. Well, let's put a 1 here. I have a value between 1 and 3 total. So in fact, I have a value between 1 and 3. So I get another coin. And again, you write in a 6 and a 4. And this time you're able to maybe use some of the abilities. So let's just go again and get a 5 and a 4. Again, not doing a big roll here, 5 and a 4, I just put away the dice tray. So a 5 and a 4, again, you can choose to put something in. Let's put in a, let's put in a 5 here, just for a sake. And let's place a 4 over here. And in this case, but a value between 4 and 10. If ever you are marking a number and the sum of all of the marked areas in that area is between 4 and 10, you score, and again, another star. The more stars wins you the game. So there you go, that's 3 rounds done, or 3 turns. You're going to keep on going until eventually you finish round 1. You're going to tot up all of the stars along here, all the stars along here, all along here, and place your total value in here. Any of these resources left over are worth 1/10 of a point each, so my score could be, well, right now it's 2, and then it's 2.4, okay, because 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's talk about these resources. So you can adjust a die, a value of 1. You can never roll it round from a 6 to a 1 or from a 1 to a 6. So I might want to change it into a 6. Why? Well, I might want to have a bigger number down here to allow me to have more options up here. Right now, of course, I can only have 2/3 of numbers out here, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And to let you know how this scores as well, a completed row is going to score you a star as well. So everything seems to score you stars. Everything else you can do is, well, with 3 pumpkins, you can adjust the die up 1 or down 1, or keep it the same and use it in the same realm. So maybe you're doubling down in a certain realm. If you roll dice as a pair, you can gain, again, that value. If you happen to have 2 hearts, with 3 hearts, you can gain a die of the same value as each die rolled. Over here, if you happen to roll, and we didn't use this at all last time, if the sum of the dice is 7, then you gain a die of the same value as either die rolled. And also, so what I tend to do is you gain a die of value 1 to 6. So you cross off one of these and you get a 1. If you cross off 2, you're going to gain a 2. So right now I might want to do that and place a 1 here. Well, actually 2 in here, which gives me a coin, which means I can spend a coin to get a 1. A 1 gives me obviously a star. And I've completed this because 4, 2, and 1 makes 7, which gives me another one. So again, that's another star and they come along. I'm going to show you how it works in total. So you have completed a zone over here. This is for all first round, for example. This happens to be for the final round, that 3rd round. And in my total score, you write that down and you get, like I said, points of a value when you have leftover resources. So in prior games, we happen to have obviously this left over. That 0.2, of course, is indicative over here, 14.2. And with viticulture, how that one works is you're crossing off a value, and then if you happen to have another value, so I have a 5, I can use a 5 here because it's crossed off, and a 5 here, which gets me a couple of points. With the wingspan we've talked about, with scythe, the way that works is you can try and get resources. If you happen to have the other resources, you can cross them off to get victory points. Over here, you don't want to have anything next to each other, so a 4 can't be next to a 4, orthogonally or diagonally, just orthogonally adjacent. With Euphoria, we've talked about that. The society, you want lower values, and this time they work upwards, and therefore you get a star if they're working together. Charstone, you're trying to get values of the same value, and if they are the same value, you can score points. I'll score 2 points for this. Again, you can gain some resources. We talked about Between Two Castles, and probably one of my favourite ones, Pendulum, which again, I haven't played the game, but thematically, all of these little realms are very familiar. Of course, Wingspan involves birds. It's abstracted, but you see what I mean. But with Pendulum, the way it works is you can either take a value of any value you like, just use this to circle one of these, or you can actually cross one of these things off. And the way it works is if you happen to have circled these first, and then you completed something, you get everything up here. So I really doubled down on that. In the final round, I went from having, I don't know, I was going to be out by quite a few points to being down by 4 points, but being up by 4 points by completing these off. So as you can still see, these still need wiping off. As you can see, they're using scroll style pads, although these are very thin polymer kind of plastic pads. They're not felty at all, and they rub off very well, which is a little bit surprising. And yes, quite nice shiny cards. Yes, I do have the A4 sheets still, which of course you can play if you want to play that print and play version. Huge dice. I think they're a little bit too big, but they're fine. Nice kind of engine buildy kind of game, but it is a little clunky compared to some much more smoother roll and writes. So if you find this of interest, of course, do let me know. Please check out those comments. And of course, if you want to see other roll and writes, check them out on the video as well. There's some obviously mitigation. There's some, as I said, engine building, resource management that you want to focus on. And yes, an interesting, obviously, concept that's coming along here. But I really like the fact I have played the majority of Stonemeyer's games, and I find that, yeah, it's nice to add this to the mix as another game that, of course, I've enjoyed playing. So it doesn't take too long to play, and hopefully this is giving you a good overview for the game. Slightly rushed, and I haven't gone through the solo playthrough or that golf mode, which looks fantastic. I have played it multiplayer and I have played it solo, and yes, I've enjoyed both experiences. A bit multiplayer solitaire to a degree, But any other questions, speak to you again soon. That's been the game, Rolling Realms, another video very soon.